1942 from Hartlepool I moved to Crewe. Found myself a job to do, working on the railway. I was wearing corduroy bridges, digging ditches, pulling switches, dodging hitches. I was working on the railway. 1843 I broke my shovel across my knee. Went to work with a company in the Leeds to Selby Railway. I was wearing corduroy bridges, digging ditches, pulling switches, dodging hitches. I was working on the railway. Yeah!
Good evening and welcome. Steve set a hashtag challenge this week. I'm not going to be doing it. I didn't have a suitable piece of wood and my drum was broke. I'm hoping to sort that out next week, but it's not an option at the moment. But hey ho, it is my son's birthday tomorrow. He's not quite 67. He hasn't done well enough on that yet. But he's getting on. So I'm going to turn him a goblet. My son does pyrography, so I'm going to turn him a goblet with the inside of the cup finished and everything else raw wood so he can burn it. But that's what I'm planning to do. But first of all, introduce you to my support crew.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
We have the wonderful Ruby Claire from Canada. The wonderful Joe from above the Arctic Circle.
Good evening.
The wonderful William Kay from somewhere under the rain. And we got Terry.
And me!
No, Terry got it. He's
Hello,
down
everybody.
Down by Miami at the moment.
Gulf
so
of Mexico.
He's middle of the water, which is kind of weird. It's bad enough when you've got people from all over the world on the internet talking together in the first place. When they're talking to you from the middle of the sea, it's kind of weird.
Isn't it?
Anyhow, I'll put the sport crew into the background and show you what I'm going to be doing. A log. Before I start that, I just want to show you one thing. Now, I'm going to make a goblet out of a log. This isn't going to be a particularly thin stem goblet because I can't be bothered. Plus, my son's, as I said, he's into pyrography, so he needs some space to work on. But whenever you're doing a goblet from a log, you've got the pith pretty much in the middle. So I shift off center so that pith is not going through the center of my stem. And in order to do that, you kind of need to sort of follow that edge around and make sure you're off center the same way both ends. Otherwise, the pith will cross your stem and your goblet will fall apart. But that's it. Just move it off center a bit, which means, of course, when I start spinning this, it's going to be off balance. So I've got to start it reasonably slow, and then we'll speed it up once we get balanced.
Did you say what wood it is?
It's
a piece of ash.
Ash.
Yeah, so I've got a bit left. So I'll start knocking the corners off of this, and the wonderful Joe will let me know who's here.
I will. Good evening, everybody, and welcome. So at the top of my chat, I've got Wayne the Woodturner. Then I go down and there's all of us. Norman Greenwell. Lewis the Klondike Craftsman. Wow. Malcolm Douglas. Paul Finley Woodturner at home. Andy Door 60. Todd at Glen Cove Woodworks. Terry Bartlett. Susie Swiss Woodturner. Fred Gilliver. Roger Kent. Aston Peterson. James Crawford. Clint at Wood Dancers. Haley Wood and Burl. Mark at Turn Again Crafts. Lucy, Super Tart. Oh dear. Doug Bennett. Johnny Foster, Chris Walters, Woodland Hall, Rex B, Vinnie Charlton, Rob Copperell Woodturning, Roy's the Boy, Tran Creek Woodturner Cornwall, and I think I might have got to the bottom now. If I have missed anybody off, I do apologise. You've got 50 people in, Pete.
Wow, welcome everybody.
Welcome along, everybody.
Well done, Karsten, for
Woodfred
using your threading
Woodshed is
tool.
in.
You've got half of it done, so what are you going to do is the other half now, Karsten? Well done. Welcome, everybody.
We've got Wivey Woodsheds in, Andy. And Andy, the AGK Woodworks, is in as well now.
Age UK
Andrew.
is in. Hello, Andrew.
I'm surprised Lewis is in so early. I'm shocked.
He came in to speak to me. See, that's what it was. He wanted to see how good it was. Internet in the middle.
Why would you be surprised at him being in early?
It never comes at the beginning of a live. Oh, did I say that out loud? Sorry, Lewis. But it's right. I speak the truth.
Andy the Valley Wind Turner's just joined us. Hello, Andy.
Hi, Andy.
Good evening, Andy.
Those that are late, this is a piece of ash that Peter is making a goblet for his son's birthday tomorrow.
And I can't believe his son is 67. I mean, that means Pete was having kids when he was 2 years old.
Amazing.
I may have got the numbers a little bit wrong.
Just a little.
You sure you did?
Lewis,
Go ahead.
Lewis is saying, curious about the pith location. If you center the pith, doesn't that give less of a chance of being on the side? See, you weren't quite in early enough then, Lewis. He's off-centered it, so it's not in the pith.
Yeah, I've off-centered the pith so that it's not in the stem. I don't care if it's coming through the cup, and I don't care if it's through the base. Well, I haven't decided which end's which yet, but
Yeah.
Well,
just so long as it's off-center, then the stem will be here, and the pith will run down the side of it, out of the way. That's the plan, anyway.
Super job.
A couple of questions for you there, Terry. Are you home yet?
Oh yeah, Roy. Question: Are you
yes.
back? No, Roy. I'm in the middle of Gulf of Mexico at the moment, headed for Miami. Having just left,
And
just come
then
all the way
we've
down to
got
Mississippi from New Orleans.
Woodworm Paul saying, how's your cruise going, Terry?
Going fine, thank you very much.
And Fred Gilliver
Being on a
saying,
little
who are you
wait.
cruising with?
Ruth, cruising with Ruth, Fred. Oh, and P&O liners.
You know, and Mr. G's wood turnings in.
Now, Terry,
Hi,
are
Steve.
you going to be putting the captured ring on this?
Oh,
Oh,
No, because they're illegal.
Oh, I wasn't aware of this new
She
law.
had to ask though,
repeat
Pete, didn't
the
she?
flask.
Pete, she had to ask. She had to
I had
ask.
to ask because Martha Turnagain Crafts asked if there would be one.
Ah, right.
that's right. You blame it on Mark.
Well, it's right there in
He
the
did, yeah, I
chat.
can see. Yeah, I can see. I'm teasing you.
I think everybody knows my
Chris Walters
feelings
has
on
joined us. Look at that.
captive rings.
Chris Walters says, "Hope you're doing well, Pete."
Doing grand.
living the dream.
Living
Now,
the
next
dream.
weekend is Newark, Midlands
Yeah.
woodworking show.
Don't rub it in. I'm not going.
And that's
What was it?
Neither am I.
20 miles away from Terry's workshop.
Actually,
I'm
it's
there
16.
Friday
But
and
we won't tell
Saturday
you.
with the van. So on
Doing
Sunday next
giveaways.
week, there could be a major giveaway. 508 lathe, 450 saber bandsaw. Could be brilliant. Maybe.
Ben Ravenscroft's
Ravenscroft.
come in to see if his dad's doing a very good job. Hello, Ben.
Ask him what you're making.
Oh, Ben.
Hey, Ben.
Happy 67th for tomorrow, boy.
Happy birthday, Ben, for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yes,
Happy birthday.
happy birthday.
Happy 70th birthday, Ben.
He's not that old. He's only 67.
Ah, well, I thought going on your age, I thought, drop it back 20 years.
So this piece is going to be pyroed on the outside.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to finish the inside of the cup. And then the outside I shall just leave. So that Ben can do whatever he wants with it then.
And the professor
the
has
professor's
joined
in.
us.
Hey, Rob.
Just
Good evening.
Just try and find a square on this end.
I do like the grain on it.
You don't?
I do.
Oh, I was going to say, I like the grain quite a bit.
No, I do as well. Ben says, "Hi all, cheers. Might be feeling 67 some mornings, but his numbers are slightly wrong."
Just a little bit.
well, they're a little bit wrong, Ben, because he's getting so old now he can't remember. You see.
That's what happens.
Well, my granddaughter was looking for a job. And she was only a child last week.
God, yeah.
It's all going.
I'm not going anywhere this time.
I just thought, Pete, I could have given you the keys to the workshop, and you could have did a live from there next week.
Yeah, it was only a 2-day show, Terry, so I'll be back. Change camera.
Oh, you'll be back by then, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be coming back Saturday night.
Right.
Robert Botwood has joined us. Good evening, Robert.
Good evening,
Hi,
Robert.
Robert.
Hey, Robert. How far's that back?
So what I've done there is I've
Steve Perkins.
squared it up and I've done a dip in the middle for my drill to catch in, which is here somewhere.
Katie, Cornish made 1982, is it?
Hey,
Hello,
Katie.
Katie.
Evening, Katie.
Where's my lemon
Katie.
drizzle cake?
Drizzle cake.
Oh, you can't beat lemon drizzle cake. It's lovely.
She made one for Mark ages ago, and I said I want one. I haven't had it yet. I
Oh, well, that's no good then, is it?
don't know if anybody in the chat knows him, but Brian Millam is the village wood turner. He's down this way. It's on the demo circuit, but I don't think he travelled much around the country. He gave me the idea for this. Just take a drill chuck, stick a handle on it, and it makes a very quick and easy to use drill.
That's all right.
Handy tool. A handy tool.
Yorkshire gets in.
Yorkshire gets in.
Glenn.
Hey, Glenn.
Goodness.
Same rules, of course. Keep the group clear. This is a 10mm drill I'm going in with.
So you're going to make a fairly large cup on this, are you?
Yeah, it's going to be quite a big one. I'm still trying to decide the shape of it. I haven't figured that out yet. Probably should have done that before I started, really, shouldn't I?
Normally, yes. But nobody's ever called you normal, Pete.
That's true.
No,
No,
not many of us that are
definitely
normal.
not normal.
No.
I'm presuming Tring Creek Woodturner is the partner to Katie.
Yeah, that's Chris. Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't even get cakes anymore, Pete, is what he's saying.
Oh,
that's
You've got
straight
no
from the
chance of
horse's
it.
mouth, that is, isn't it? So, you know.
no, I switched recently. Always used to do goblets in what I would call the traditional way with a spindle gouge. And then I thought, well, I've got these hollowing tools, and they're good for hollowing things, so I might as well use them. So I started using these recently. Well, I say recently, probably the last year or so. So much so
Easier
that's blunt. Give me a sec.
or harder?
They're about the same.
Yeah, it's not a great deal of difference, but you know, I've got to justify buying the tool, haven't I?
As Lewis points out, your piece has a little bit of wobble. You don't want to add.
Just a touch.
You don't want to add a little steady rest.
No. When I speed up to 10,000 RPM, it'll be fine.
Yeah, it'd be grand.
Actually, what I will do is just true up the outside, because it's only the outside that's wobbling. Whilst I can still put a center in it, I will do that. I don't use a steady rest unless I'm doing stair spindles or something long. Something that's a problem in its own right. Mostly because with a stair spindle, there's room for a steady rest without it getting in your way, because it's nice and long. And I put a steady rest on here, take up that space, which doesn't give me a lot of tool room. It makes it very difficult to work.
So Katie's saying, let you know when, let her know when you're going down and she'll bake you one.
Yeah, I think I'll be down Marks fairly soon, actually. It's a couple of jobs need doing. There you go. No wobble now.
Wobble is gone.
And Anthony
That's what-
Green has joined us. Welcome, Anthony.
Hi, Anthony.
Evening, Anthony.
Welcome along, buddy.
Good evening.
Is there a little split in that, Pete?
Yeah, I think there is. Just no, it's just a grain mark.
A radial mark.
It doesn't go down this way, so that'd
And
be all right.
Albert L.
Not as bad
Dawson
as
has
last week when
joined
it
us.
was falling apart before I started, so I just gave up on it.
Good evening, Albert.
Hi, Albert.
You know, Albert.
You're high now.
Market Turner Game Crafts has a question. Pete, have you turned the banjo back to the stock position again?
Sorry, Joe, what was that?
Market Turner Game Crafts is asking, have you turned the banjo back to the stock
Yes,
position
because
again.
the big plaster that I did a couple of weeks ago required me to go back this way around.
Okay.
Chris from Bailey Woodworks
Chris?
has just joined us. So, Chris.
Hello,
Evening,
Chris.
Hi, Chris.
And Brian, Greenhaven Creations is in.
Hey, Brian.
Good evening.
Brian.
And Robert bought us a question. He says, anybody know how Brian is?
Anybody know
Brian is doing good. Brian is doing
He
good.
is. Yeah.
Brian who?
He's on the mend. Brian
Oosby.
I
J.
chatted with Brian
Oosby.
On the
earlier.
mend.
He's going to be in the workshop tomorrow. We're going to put the cameras on and have a hangout and have a chat whilst he's in the workshop. But
Going to learn to
he'll be
turn.
back on YouTube soon.
Hopefully.
He would be
Next
here
week.
tonight, but he said, "Oh,
But,
Terry's
you know.
coming in. I'm not coming."
Yeah, that's it. See. It's all right. It's not a problem. My internet's
dear.
playing up actually. By the look of it, it must be changing satellites. Pete's picture's frozen to me. So.
Is it?
No, it's fine here.
Yeah, no, it's me. It's
Yeah.
back in the middle of the ocean. You know, probably looking for another satellite. But
Don't think that camera's any
We're
better,
3,000.
but we'll try it.
Andy H is for turning is in. Good evening, Andy.
Oh, Andy.
Hi, Andy.
You okay?
Now, Pete, what's on the end of that tool?
This is a 6mm,
Okay. It's a
6mm
carbide
cup
cutter.
cutter.
Okay.
That's the
The
Simon
Simon
Hope
Hope
one.
one.
Pete. Yeah.
I've got a set of these. I've got just do a couple more cuts and I'll show you some others.
Okay.
I have one that I like using that has an end mill on the end.
Are you still with us, Terry?
Yeah, I'm still here. I can hear, but the picture's
Okay. Well, Glenn's
freezing there.
asking, where in the world are you today?
in the middle of the Gulf of Mexico,
Gulf of Mexico.
The Gulf of Mexico.
heading from the Mississippi to where are we going? Miami. And it's
Isn't
warm.
the Mississippi and the Missouri near one another?
Don't know. Missouri's a place, and Mississippi's a river.
Yeah, it's
I
a heck
think.
of a river, isn't it?
But Terry, did you go up the river in the
Mississippi is,
cruise
yeah,
ship, or did you change boats?
No, we went up the river in a cruise ship for 5.5 hours, 100 miles up the river, and you wouldn't believe when we got up there, there's still another 300 miles to go up the river if you wanted to.
Yeah.
And there was a
Actually,
big
you can
cruise
take it
terminal
all-
up there. Amazing.
You can take it
Massive.
all the way up to the Canadian border.
Yeah.
Yeah, but cruise ships are
It was
pretty
right
big,
up.
aren't they?
Oh, the river is about half a mile wide,
Wow.
Yeah.
and we were up 100 miles up. So, it's a hell of a river. Massive. Dewey Shed's in. Hi, Dewey.
Hey, Dewey.
Good evening.
Okay, so that's the standard hollower. There is also a mini hollower, which is the same cutter. They're both 6mm cutters. Just that's a lighter weight bar, and it's good for little boxes and things like that. In fact, it would do this job as well. That's the standard.
Tiny.
So it's got a tiny little 6mm cutter on the end there. And that's an alternate one, which is an 8mm cutter. On a square bar, presented at 45 degrees. So they each have their place. I like the round bars because I can then adjust the
The angle.
aggression of the cut. Just by changing the angle, I can change how aggressive it gets. But sometimes the fixed 45 will give you a better cut. I'm just going to use that now, having got the cup shape in there.
You want to change the camera?
Thank you. Right, so I've done that with a 6mm, and does a pretty good cut, but it tends to be a little bit ridgy because it's such a small diameter of cut. So
It's an aggressive little fella as well, too, for
very
cutting.
aggressive, yeah. So I'm going to go in there now with the 8mm. And it's a thinner tool, so I've got to move the tool rest.
Ian in the shed is in. Good evening.
Hi, Ian.
Ian.
Ian's asking, P is the one you'd recommend to get as a first hollower.
Sorry, Joe, what was that?
Ian in the shed is asking, is there, could you recommend a first hollower to get?
Okay, how deep do you want to go, Ian? That's the important question.
If you're just doing something like a goblet, I would normally recommend learn how to do it with your spindle gouge.
Yeah.
Anything up to about 3 inches deep, then a spindle gouge. Move from, right, let's pretend there's wood there, because if I go in, you won't see it. Move from the center and pull back out towards you like this. A spindle gouge is good up to about 3 inches deep. You can go 4 inches, but you then need to go up a size in spindle gouge because of vibration, basically. So that's how I would start, and that's how I've always done goblets in the past.
Yeah, he says about 6 inches, 150mm.
6 inches, then I highly recommend the Simon Hope Pro Hollower, which is a 6mm cutter. These bits of foam pull off, so if you want to put a handle on that, you can. Make it more manageable. So I highly recommend that. The other thing I highly recommend, not 6 inches, but 6 inches to 10 inches is, I haven't used it for a while, it's covered in dust. The
We'd have never know.
The Sorby Steady Pro. I'm not going to use it here because it's wrong, but I just put it in place and you can show you what it does.
Well, as Fred points out, the Easywood Pro Hollower is also good for that.
Yeah. So that goes there. Your tool goes between the bars, and then rather than fighting to keep it level that way, the bars look after it. You just lift it, and the rollers take care of the rest. And that's absolutely fine, perfectly safe. Don't put your finger there, because that isn't safe. Because you're lifting, you're holding against. Keep your hand back out of the way, and that gives you a lot of control. I have done a 14-inch hollow form, which I then cut in half and hinged to make a trophy box using this. And when I cut it in half, I was absolutely amazed at how good the quality of the cut was inside. But when I'm going 14 inches deep, I go for this one, which is the Hamlet Big Brother Cups Cutter. And it's 4 foot long, basically.
I'm going to say it's 2 days long.
It does go down inside the handle, so you can sort of make it a bit shorter, but
yeah, the deeper you go, the longer the handle to give you the proper leverage over the tool rest.
there is a number on that, isn't it? 4 inches to 1 inch or something? I don't know. There is a ratio somewhere. I can't remember what it is of how much handle you need behind the tool rest to the overhang of the tool rest. I think it's
Yes.
I think it's something like 4 inches
used to
long.
be 1 to 6.
1 to 6. I mean, it does depend on a lot of other factors. I mean, if you're going to start hollowing, don't do it with hard dry wood.
Agreed.
Start off with something that's sort of semi-dry,
And a little softer.
a little softer. There's another alternative that I used last week. The ring tool, end grain hollowing. It's another way of doing it. It's not a scary tool. It's ever so easy to use. Which, if you were watching last week, you'll see that I had to try hard to get a catch, and when I did, it threw the piece off the lathe.
You could also use the hook tool.
A hook tool as well. Yeah. And then of course there's the easy wood range, which I don't have any experience of. But if you watch, well, Wayne uses it quite frequently, but JP is the one to watch for that, and AGK.
Andrew from AGK, yeah, he uses them.
Whenever they're doing hollowing, have a look at what they're using. Lots of options, basically.
Yeah, I have the Pro Hollower now, and it's really, really impressive.
Yeah, it's a good machine. Good bit
I
of
do
kit.
like the Pro Hollower a lot. What was I going next? I was going for this one. Okay, so my next. Change camera too soon.
Mike dances with aardvarks, is it?
Hey, Mike, welcome along.
Like,
My next highly justified expenditure was the wood turning scraper, which is a disc scraper with a negative rake, which, as I said, you get small ridges with a small cutter. So this is, again, just smoothing out those ridges. And again, I'm afraid the camera isn't going to be very helpful.
What's important is if you watch when Pete's making his cut, he's going from the center out.
Yes. So you start down in the center and you bring it towards you. Still too low. Yeah, we're good there. So just a couple of touches with that, and it's not going to show. I'm up to sanding level, basically, on the inside there.
Well,
Doesn't take a lot.
Now, are you going to leave it? Are you going to leave it that thick?
No. I'm going to shape the outside now. I won't take it too thin because, as I said, this is for bend to burn. It's a bit of pyrography, so I'll give them some space. But if I was doing this as a goblet, I would probably take that down to 1.5, 2 mil. I'll probably aim at about 3 for this particular purpose.
That's getting tin.
Yeah, I mean, goblets I quite often shine a light from behind and then cut down till I see the light. Work it that way. But I'm going to use my depth. Totally unnecessary, but I've got it, so I'm going to use it.
Why not?
So that's the bottom of the actual hole. So I want a bit of space below that. So I'll shape it down to about there. And I've got a rough shape in my head now, which I'm going to do with spindle gouge. We'll also use a skew for this.
The wood pretty dry, Pete.
It is a bit dry, but it's not too dry. It works well. The reason I shape the outside after the inside at the moment, I'm not saying I will do this next year because I might change again. I do seem to switch methods around quite often. Get my inside shape and I cut down to it. When I'm cutting thin, that's quite helpful. Back when I'm cutting thin, I'll quite often have sanded the inside by this time.
Now you were going to finish the inside. And
Yeah, I'll finish the inside.
Did you want to do it now while you still have some stability?
Yeah. But so I'll get the outside of this one cut. Just the cup.
Just the cut part,
stem.
yeah.
Again, I'm not going to go particularly thin stemmed on this one. If I was going thin stemmed, then I would be worried about support and all the rest of it. Sometimes I would be looking to pull this outwards rather than push it inwards with my support. But not in this case. I might use a tennis ball in a minute.
Lucy, Pete is making a goblet for his son to do some pyrography on for his birthday tomorrow.
His 67th birthday, wasn't it?
67th birthday tomorrow, yeah.
That's what Pete says, but his son seems to think his age is something different. I mean, Pete's barely above 67 himself. Maybe not even that.
He wishes.
Well,
he may catch up to us someday, Terry.
Never.
Nobody's as old as Terry. Not even Wayne.
I am.
Yeah, you got to remember Terry's working in Hobbit years.
Yeah, but so am I. Did you forget that when I was at your place, Pete? All your doorknobs are up at eye level for me.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we were talking about Ruby's shooting days earlier, and Ruby was an adult when she was shooting for her country, and she mentioned that she gave away her shooting outfits, all the straps and belts and everything else, to the children's team.
Or their leather gear.
Enough said, really.
Yep, the leather jacket, the pants, the sling, the boots, and all the things you had to wear for international competition.
I'll sound that a bit more in a bit. I'm going to go to the inside now, and I've lost my stick.
Pete, that's short enough you can use your fingers.
I know I'm going to use my fingers, but I was going to show the sticks just because it's proper and right, and I was trying to be good.
Lucy says to remind you, Pete, that good things come in small packages. And so
Yes,
does dynamite.
I
exactly.
was just going to say dynamite, yeah.
Exactly.
pretty
So
much-
does dynamite. Look out.
Pretty much every poison ever made. Right. That's less than a finger depth in there. I am quite happy to put my fingers in there. If you're not happy to put your fingers in there when it's turning, don't. Get a stick and a Velcro pad on the end, put your sandpaper on that and go with that. If I was doing a vase and it was further in, I wouldn't be happy and I would find my stick, which is here somewhere and I can't find it.
Or you'd need one of us there that have small hands. You know, something like that, we could get our whole hand in.
And
You know
in
that,
that, yeah, see it.
that lace-up vase that Steve did at lunchtime? I did one of those a couple of years ago, and I struggled. I had long nose pliers, I had forceps. I struggled to get that bottom few holes laced up. I was actually lacing it with copper wire, so I had to get it through and pull it tight. And then Lisa came out and she said, "What's the problem?" And she put her hand straight into the bottom of the vase.
There you go. Lucy says the same. Tiny hands have their uses.
Right, that was the oops grade. Starting at 80 grit in there. Probably could have gone away with a bit less than that, but when you cut a goblet for a customer, they'll always say, "Can I drink out of it?" And I used to try and be nice and say, well, I could put plastic coat or resin of some sort in there and you could drink out of it then, any alcohol, hot drinks, cold drinks, whatever you want. But you're drinking out of a plastic beaker then, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I found the only thing that really works really well is the Rustin's plastic coat.
Yeah, the Rustin's one is very good.
It is good, but it's a plastic beaker. And now I just look at them and say, why? Why would you want to drink out of a wooden beaker? I mean, it's just crazy.
Why, they work perfectly good, Pete.
Yep, and I'm sure I've had this conversation with Terry from Chestnut. In the old days, when they used to just serve everything out of wood, they probably put no finish at all on them. They used them until they got so grubby and horrible. They chucked them on the fire and bought another one. Trouble nowadays, people want something that looks perfect, something that's display artistic quality, and then they
All
want
the
to
And
use
and
utility
usable.
fees as well.
Yeah.
And it's no, the two don't go together. If you want it, you want it to use, have it to use. If you want it as a piece of art, then have it as a piece of art. You wouldn't eat your dinner off of the Mona Lisa, would you?
If you're rich enough, you would.
Well, you
No,
wouldn't,
I
because it's
definitely
hanging on a
would.
wall, Terry, or your gravy will fall on the floor, mate. It's no good.
Although Pete, if you put a drop of whiskey in that, I'll drink it.
I know that is another thing. I've done
Yeah.
wedding goblets, and I deliberately put nothing on them at all. Let the wine soak into the wood. And when you keep that goblet afterwards, you've got a memento from the actual toast.
The most interesting job I had to do with goblets was when a lady brought me 2 logs and wanted identical goblets for her wedding. And they had to be in a very old Gothic style. So she
Yeah.
drew them out on paper for me, and they were very big, heavy things. And it was fun getting them both the same.
Don't know if you can hear those beeps. That's my USB connection disconnecting for some reason.
Now, what are you
Okay.
putting on the inside now?
Right, this is just a bit of maple syrup, otherwise known as cellulose sanding sealer.
Sounds like we need to bring you over some.
In a bottle that hasn't even broke yet. I've been using that for a long time now without breaking it. I didn't expect it to last more than a few weeks.
Oh, you've
Ah.
never tempted fate now.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Pete, it is Canadian, right?
Well, yes,
We don't break too easily.
but I started using it to wind up Lewis long time ago, and it's still working.
And it's still winding them up.
I'm going to go straight to a wax from there.
Looks like Hampshire Sheen.
Hampshire Sheen. Where's my camera? Down there. Hampshire Sheen with my hand over it, so you can't see what it is.
Yeah. Food and toys safe.
Gloss
Gloss
finishing
finishing
wax.
wax.
It's food and whatever safe. So if somebody does decide to drink out of it, they'll get a waxy drink, but it won't kill them.
Won't kill them. I wanted to say that on the back of the tin.
The other thing what amazes me with mineral oil or any wax finish, doesn't matter what it is, they say they're food safe. What they mean is they're non-toxic, because if you scrape a spoon across a wooden bowl with a wax finish on it or a mineral oil finish on it, you are eating the wax or the mineral oil, because it won't stay on the wood if you scrape a wooden spoon across it. So you're eating it. It's just non-toxic. Not a big deal. Absolutely fine with that. But
Have you tried it yourself?
yeah, I mean, I used to do reenactment stuff many years ago, and we used to eat and drink off of wooden things all the time. I said I prefer
Did they leak?
not to put a finish on. No, not really. They will if you
Well, don't leak.
if you fill them up with liquid and leave them there all day, then it will soak through it. But if you fill them up with liquid and drink it at a normal pace, it's fine.
No, there's no chance of it leaking if Pete's got it.
When I've got it, I've never seen a drop seep through it. But no, like I said, with wedding goblets, I like it if I give them a goblet and they toast with red wine, and then you get that
Yeah.
red wine stain in the bottom of the wood. It just soaks in. It's there forever. It's grand. It's
Do you want to change cameras, Pete?
yep,
Proper reminder of the day.
yeah, it's a proper reminder. And then quite often I'll make a lid to go on the goblet as well. And say, pick up a bit of confetti or whatever. Preferably not a bit of the dinner or anything, but a bit of confetti, a bit of whatever. Chuck it in a goblet, stick the lid
Throw
on
two
it,
spuds in it.
stick it on a shelf, and it's there.
When they get divorced, empty it out.
Yeah. No, Terry, we don't get divorced when you get married. If you drink toast out of my goblet, it should last forever.
Oh well.
Mm.
I'm just after it.
Tell that to lots of people I know.
Okay, now, I said I'm not going thin with this stem, but I'm going to do it in the same method as if I was going to go thin with it, which is basically work back an inch at a time. If I was going thin, I would sand and finish each of those inches as I go back. I'm not going thin, so I won't do that, but I'll be cutting in the same manner.
And why do you do that?
It just means you haven't cut too much when it flies off and goes across the rim, Joe.
Okay, fair enough.
If you've
no.
done all
More
that
of
hard
it
work
to
all the way
hear.
down the stem before it breaks, well, that's annoying. If you only go back an inch at a time, it flies off, and you can start again.
Yeah.
Ellen Jenkins
More
is
wood
in.
to
So
hear
Steve
then.
Madden.
Hi, Helen.
Hello, Ellen.
Hiya, Helen.
Steve.
Evening.
Hey, Steve.
Steve, who was that?
Do what, dude?
Madden.
The dude.
Wood dude, yeah.
I've been liking some of that stuff that Steve's been putting up with his
I was just going to
crumbly
say that.
shapes.
Yeah, he has been putting out some really, really stunning pieces.
He has been, yeah. He's obviously not working. He's obviously lazing around.
Oh, I was going to put a support up, wouldn't I? Do that in a sec.
Oh, he's a full-time wood turner. Well done, Stephen. That's good then. Happy with that.
And again,
Well
not
done.
overly necessary on this particular one because it's not a lightweight job. Piece of wood in the way, chuck it down there. In one of these drawers somewhere.
Don't like 'em.
No, can't find it.
What are you looking for, Pete? Tennis ball.
Yeah, I was looking for my tennis ball. But I use a tennis ball, I use a cone. Stick it in the end there and just bring the tailstock up gently against it. Do not bring it up tight. The alternative is to have a piece that goes all the way to the bottom of the cup so that your support is on the end of the stem effectively. Again, gently, you just touch in as a general support. You put pressure on it and you go thin with the stem, it's going to collapse on you. And the camera doesn't show that. There we go.
Perfect.
So I've
yeah.
now got some support, which if this was going to whip at all, if it was long or thin or whatever, that will stabilize it a bit. So it just runs there. Tennis balls work. I've got tennis balls here somewhere, but I can't find one at the moment. Another thing that works, if you've got something, you see how well organised I was for this.
You have the large cone center, Pete, for that live center?
Yes. If you could put a piece of wood like that, you can take that all the way into the cup and that will just rest against the bottom of the cup. That's actually a very good way of doing it.
Okay.
It rather than stabilizing on the edges here, stabilizing on the bottom, which is more stable. However, I'm not going to bother. Just showing you that for if you were going thin with the stem, if you have any issues by going long stem or whatever. The other way, if you're going long stem, you just put a little cradle of string around this, attach it to your live center and pull it back. Bit of tape, bit of string, whatever. It works well. But again, not necessary on this job.
I like the idea of using the string best
Yeah,
because then you're using expansion as opposed to contraction.
yeah. It's finials that's good for as well.
Yes.
Doing
definitely.
long finials.
Or a trembleur.
Yeah.
So I'm surprised Stephen Madden is full-time returner now. I had him down as the owner of a shoe shop. I've got a picture that proves that. I'll post that later on social media.
Hmm. Al says that he balls up a rag and sets it in there, and then everything is soft and secure.
Yeah.
Whatever works for you.
That's right.
You could ask 100
Whatever
woodturners
works, yeah.
what's the
I
best way.
mean,
You get 100 different answers.
And Steve says he's still the shoe king on the side.
I've got
Watch
a
your
little
spaces, Stephen.
little cone-shaped live center as well, which that works very well for internal support. Bit of rag underneath it or something just to protect the polish that you've put in there. Extremely effective.
Yeah, I like the metal cone, the cone center, the 2-inch cone center with a little bit of masking tape.
Yeah.
It's just to stop the cup whipping, you know, once you get the stem thin.
Yeah. Those rubber chucky things as well. I don't own one. I've never actually used one, but I've seen other people using them and they look really good.
I've got one and it works quite well. Steve's asking who's going to Newark this year. Pete, you're going, I believe.
I am going, yes.
I'm going.
I won't be going,
won't.
Stephen.
Going.
I'm in the middle of Gulf of Mexico. So
I won't
make
be
it.
going either.
Glyn's going.
And if you're free Saturday afternoon, Steve, you can help me load Terry's tools into the back of the van.
Terry, you better get your ass back quick.
Yeah, that's right. Like I said, give him the keys. You get it done live from there, but he'll be home by then. With a van full of kit, I expect, from my workshop.
You won't have a stick of wood left.
He'll say, look what I got near Newark this year.
I went up to the tool show and I came back with all this stuff.
All this stuff, yeah. Some of it's secondhand.
Not much.
Not much.
Yeah,
no.
but the amount of holidays you have, Terry, is almost unused.
It is unbelievable.
Stephen says, Pete, you're on for a 50-50 split.
Some year I'd like to go to Newark.
Yeah, it's nice actually. It's very good, really.
Quite a small show, but it's just quite.
Mm.
Yeah.
Being small, you get to know pretty much everybody that's there anyway.
Everybody.
It's a
Yeah.
nice sociable little show.
Yeah. Or
Oh,
if
my
you
picture's
wanted
just
lots
come
of-
back. I can see your
Oh, there's-
lathe revolving. I was just stopped again. Damn.
I'd have to find somebody who's got a lathe I can borrow while I'm there.
Yeah, well, you know,
Borrow mine, Ruby. Yeah.
bring your high heels. You
3
can
miles
use
down the
mine.
road.
Bring my
Bring your
high
high
heels. I'd have to bring a whole box to stand on to use yours, Pete. What did we say it was? 11.5 inches too high for me?
It was, but it's not anymore because it's lower now. I brought it down a bit.
Yeah, it's
It's only 10
nine
inches too
inches,
small.
9 inches too high.
This little detail here, little fillet. I've always done it.
I
And
like
I was
them as
chatting
well,
with
yeah.
Mike Walt about this. If you look at a wine glass, that's not there. But it
That's-
feels right to have it there.
It looks better too. It also makes it look a little more elegant.
Well,
Yes.
what we've figured is that when you get down to this part of the glass, the angle of refraction changes. So although that isn't there on a wine glass, it looks as though it is. So the reason for putting it on here is to make it look like a wine glass. So I've got the extractor. Walk to the other end of the workshop, turn the extractor on, come back again.
Now,
When are you going to
Lucy,
move that switch for me, Terry?
Say again, Pete.
When are you going to move that switch for me?
Whenever.
Lucy says that her lathe is the right height for me for someone of 5'0". So Lucy,
Really?
is your lathe going to be at Newark? Do you need somebody to turn on it?
Ben says you could,
No.
Pete. You could do a show of making the steps, and then the second show could be somebody using it, like Ruby.
Hey, that would work.
Yeah, but you're going to use a lot of timber to make the steps big enough for you and Ruby to use, Terry.
Stuart Gooley has joined us. Hello, Stuart.
There's
Stuart.
various people will
Hi,
have
Stuart.
demo lathes at Newark. But being demo lathes, they will all be standard height because they come on portable stands and they're all the same height. So there will be somebody there when you come over, Ruby. We'll sort it out. We'll find somebody to put you on the stand.
All right.
Steve, you could ask Mike if you go into Newark, you could ask him because he's going to be there.
He will,
But
for
I would
sure.
make sure he got a couple of screens in front of him if he's turning the goblet. He's demonstrating for Simon opening.
Yeah. Yeah, Mike's going to be demoing.
Wait.
He thinks all weekend, but he's drinking with me on Friday, so Saturday could be sketchy.
He's got no chance on Saturday.
The weird thing is, Mike and I have become very good friends over the years. We've never actually met yet.
Strange that, isn't it?
It is
Yeah.
strange.
Yeah.
It all started
met him
when I
yet,
did
he
my
was-
first ever live on YouTube. I took Mike's slot. He was away for a weekend. Of course, he does Sunday nights, doesn't he, Terry?
Of course he does Sunday nights. Yeah, in and out. Well, there's more out than in because they haven't done one for over a year. So.
He was
Sounds
supposed
like
to do one every month, there, wasn't it? Or something
Yeah,
to that
He was
effect.
going to do one a month, and I was going to do the other 3.
Mm.
Now Pete's doing them all, so it's good.
no, I'm not.
Temporarily.
I got 2 more to do, Terry, and then it's back to you, mate.
Not that Pete's counting, of course.
You know,
I'll interject here that Doug Miller's live this week is going to be on Thursday instead of Tuesday. 'Cause
Ah, right.
I know a number of you follow Doug.
right?
He's Paul Finley in the chat.
He was earlier, I
earlier.
think.
Do you want to check if he's doing tomorrow lunchtime? I think he probably will be.
If he's still in, he'll pop it in the chat.
It was at the beginning.
He was, yeah.
Roger Kent saying, "Don't forget the thumbs up, everybody."
Paul's saying yes. Yes, I am.
Good man, Paul.
Right on, Paul. Right, about this stage of any goblet, you've got to look at the size of the cup you've made, and you've got to figure out where the bottom's going to be. And I just hacked a little bit of waste out of the way so I can see better. And I think that's about as far as I want to go. It's not about actual size, it's about balance. What looks right. There's a tendency to make them over tall, and they look wrong.
Pete, Steve says we'll take turns to get Mike drinks so he's on form for Saturday.
God, you don't want to get drink into that, man. Holy God.
Oh, well, he's bad enough without it.
What does Mike drink anyway?
Don't know.
I don't know.
There we go then.
Probably drinks pink gin or something.
Something weird, anyway. I tell you, that man is a scream. He really is.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a good lad. Right, the other thing you should do is you should, before you start, have an idea in your head what you're going to do with the stem. Don't make it up as you go along like I'm doing at the moment.
The
None of us
pencil
do,
line,
Pete.
the pencil line that you put there, is that where you're going to cut it off?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's got nothing to do with mechanics. It's just that I think is the right length.
Okay.
And by putting that
None of us
line
do
there,
on the
I
fly,
now
Pete. We all
know.
plan things.
I now know what sort of shape I'm coming down to, and I can balance it. If I don't know where that bottom is, then it's quite hard to figure out the stem. So that's why I put the line on at this stage.
I always plan things way in advance, at least 3 minutes before I go on.
And Stuart's asking, since he hasn't been on YouTube much for a while, is Battle of the Makers still a thing?
It hasn't been
Not at the
recently.
moment. There's been a lot of illness, Stuart. And,
Yes.
bits and pieces going on in holidays and things. So it's been
Everybody's
shelved
been busy.
for a
and
little while. Brian hasn't been well. Joe hasn't been well, and I've been on holiday. So
Steve ran out of questions.
Brian is feeling a lot better. Brian will be back in the workshop, having fun in the
Hopefully back
workshop,
soon.
not doing videos or anything, just back having fun. And he will come back on YouTube when he's good and ready. But
Yep.
he hasn't gone. He's just taken a break. About my tennis ball. It's a mini
Oh,
dent
nice
tennis
one.
ball I'm using.
Look how small it is.
Yep, it's
A golf ball?
from the pet store.
No, no, they're small foam balls.
So it's exactly the same as a tennis ball, but it's miniaturized, which goes inside very nicely. What I was saying about the pith earlier on, there's the pith there. Look. It's
Right.
just on the edge of my stem. So I might, I don't know. I could
Leave it.
cut the stem a little bit thinner and get rid of that completely.
Oh, I think it looks nice, Pete.
Yeah.
But
The only thing is it might sand away some of it a bit quicker than the rest of the wood, you know.
yeah, well, that's what I'm going to try now. Is a
You know,
little
the
bit
flat
sanding.
spot.
I'm going to come in with the 180, so it's not too aggressive. Where's the 180? There it is. And the other thing I've just done is I've turned my lathe right down and then turned it on. Then I'll bring the speed up. Again, not overly necessary on a thick stem like this, but if you're doing a thin stem, the weight of this cup, if you turn it on at full RPM, will just snap it completely off.
Yeah, you have a two-piece then.
So you turn the speed down. This one doesn't go down to 0, but you know some lathes go down to 0. That just use the speed control. Don't hit the stop button at all. Just turn it right down to 0, and then turn it back up again when you want to restart. It just it saves that stem from unwinding itself. So here I'm sanding as I work back. If I was finishing this, then I would finish this as well at this stage. And then I come back to the next step. As Ben's going to be burning this, I'll leave it as it is. There's nothing worse than trying to do pyrography through wax. I'll change my tool rest because that's a bit big and clumsy. Go smaller. Any questions coming in, or Terry talking about his cruise or something?
No, they were talking about the
My
size of
picture's
your
frozen,
tennis
so I
ball a
can't
minute
see
ago.
it.
You can't see anything.
Can't see much. To be honest.
Terry, it's flown off, mate. It's gone the other side of the workshop.
No,
I've been listening. I know he hasn't. I
and
can tell by the tone of voice.
what's more, the headstock
If
exploded.
you're, I would have heard that.
No, I got noise cancelling mic.
no,
I got
there,
to the
just
bit where you
laughing.
just starting to sound. You haven't done the stem yet on my screen. It's obviously iffy internet where we are at the moment. That's probably why we got lightning and thunder out there now. There's hot weather coming in. It's changing the weather from 15 degrees to 25. It's just screwing the internet up.
Well, we can hear you clearly enough.
Yeah, your
it's just
audio is
pictures
really
gone
good.
here. It's a downlink, probably.
I just got a message from Mark Beckett, and he's going to be doing a live on Tuesday at 8 p.m. British time.
Oh, cool. So he's coming for Doug, effectively.
Well, Doug's still doing one on Thursday.
Yeah, but Tuesday night was empty and Mark's covering it. That's good.
Yeah, just so everybody knows.
Okay.
Right, Terry, as you can't see, help me with the design here, because I'm I got a 3-finger cove, which I think is about right. Because you always have a finger and a thumb on
Okay.
the actual glass, don't you?
Mm.
Perhaps 2 was right. I don't know.
I hope we put a fillet
Looks all
behind the cup to make it look nice.
Yeah, there is a fillet behind the cup.
Matching
I've
fillet
now
now on
got-
the base would be nice.
I
Only
got about
obviously
half
got
an
one
larger.
on the
inch for the
base as well.
base. Below my 3rd finger. So I either make it a little bit shorter,
okay,
which
then.
I don't really want to do, or I've got to put something else in there. Another little feature. So effectively, I've got 3 cotton reels, or what I call
Room on the
cotton reels,
base.
just little coves, as finger holes.
I didn't hear any screaming, so I take it there's no captive ring.
No, there's no captive ring. They're illegal, so therefore I haven't done it. I wouldn't want to break the law.
Okay.
I just need another feature at about 10 or 11 mil long, maybe a little bit longer.
You might have to move your pencil line down a little bit further for your base.
No, the pencil line's fixed, I've decided.
Okay.
Carson says it's 10 p.m. in his corner of the world and an early start tomorrow, so he's off to bed. Have a great night, everyone. Cheers, Carson. Glad the
All right.
thread
Take care,
chasing's
Carson.
getting there. Keep it going,
Thanks
mate.
for popping in.
Just 3 o'clock here, by the way, so in the afternoon.
Be 9 o'clock here, wouldn't it?
Yes.
Denmark an hour
9:16
ahead of us.
Quarter
currently.
past.
My clock goes forward an hour tomorrow because we're sailing back towards
Ah, Doug has just joined
Florida.
us. Hey, Doug.
Hi, Doug.
Hello, Doug.
Good evening, Doug.
We've got
You
the
going for
service
a fillet,
announcement you're
Pete?
on Thursday.
Hi, Doug.
Are you saying you going for a fillet on the base, Pete? No.
I'm going for something here. I'm just not quite sure what I'm doing yet. In that space there, Terry, that bit you can't see, just that bit there. I want to put a detail. What am I doing?
You could put a ring there, but not a captive ring. Just put a ring and don't cut it off. You know, just to pretend that is half
You mean
done,
you mean a bead?
like a bead.
Half bead, yeah.
Bead. Half bead.
Half
Although I can't
bead.
see it, so you know.
I know, that's why I'm asking. Because it's funnier. If you could see, I wouldn't bother to ask.
Oh my goodness.
But it might come back in a minute. You never know. There's thunder and lightning out there at the moment because we're changing from cold air to warm air. They said it would. And there's a lot of hot air in here now because Ruth's just come back from the gym. Blimey.
Hello, Ruth.
Well,
Hi,
I
Ruth.
thought there was a
Roseanne.
lot of hot air already there.
They're all saying hello, Ruth. You can
Gary?
shut up, Ruby. Not a lot of hot air.
Good girl, Roby.
Ruth says hello.
Somebody's got to stick up for Ruth.
Ruby says somebody's going to stick up for you.
I was just going to say, Ruby, your filter is malfunctioning, but
Oh, Stuart Gruliel says, Pete, I've been meaning to thank you. I watched a video of yours a while back about a little record chuck. I bought
Oh,
one
yeah.
and used your
Yes, you
drill
too.
trick to modify the jaws. Works a treat.
It does,
Cheers.
doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did the same thing, and I've been using. In fact, lately I've been doing some pastel drawings, and I found the best way to sharpen my pastel pencils was to put them in that chuck on the lathe, and then take a skew and sharpen them.
Ah.
Yeah, that does
taken an
work. Ruby, I've
interest
done
in
that.
pastels.
You
Well,
have to get back on the
Buttons
record
and
power,
without.
Ruby, and get them to make that as an official fix.
I've already been in touch with them about it, Pete.
They haven't done it yet, though.
True. I tried to get them to work some ways of putting, I had 4 suggestions for how they could attach vacuum chucks to the lathes, and they haven't done that yet either.
Mm.
It does take a long time, and these things, because they've got to tool it up, they've got to gear it up, and they've got to design and price it all up. You come up with a suggestion for a tool, it takes a long time to get to production. I've put in a couple of things to Sorby in the past, and you can be looking at a couple of years before they even talk to you about it, because they're just thinking.
All my pictures just jumped back into life.
Ooh.
Ah, just in time, Terry. What do you think of that detail you made me put in there?
Yeah. It's all right. I would not go any thinner with it, though. But that's all
No,
right.
I think that's about right.
It's plenty for Ben to play with, isn't it? And
Yeah.
pyrograph.
Well, I said it is for to be burned. Not burned my way, but burned prettily by
I
Ben.
was just going to say, it seems to be a
burnt the
trend.
other way.
Seems to be a trend in your house, Pete. Burn
Yeah,
something
there's a
and
big
burn it.
bang. Blimey, thunder hasn't gone. Boom.
He's actually very good at it.
Yeah, make sure we see the finished piece.
Now, are Ben's hands as
Yeah,
big as
that'd be nice.
yours?
Sorry, what was that, Ruby?
Is Ben a giant?
Are Ben's hands as big as yours?
Yeah.
Is he going to be able to grip that?
He's got children; they can hold it for him.
Oh, okay.
And again, at this stage, I would be looking to finish that if I was doing this for real, but I'm not going to because this is for Ben.
Well, you want to finish it after he does the pyrography anyway.
Now then,
Leave a little
another
tenon on
golden
the
rule
bottom,
that
so you can put it back in.
me and Mike discussed in the past, and we don't really understand, but we do it anyway. Is we want the base a fraction smaller diameter than the cup.
Yep.
Not massively so. I think it's just a perspective thing. Terry and Ruby, being artists, probably understand it better than I do. But it just looks.
Pleasure to the
If
eye,
the
then.
base is the same size of the cup, it looks overly heavy. You take it just a little bit smaller, and it works. I don't know why.
Just a few millimeters.
Yeah, it's not a lot.
Doesn't have to
Just
be much,
perspective.
does it?
Well, you've made your base thin enough that
You could get away with it, couldn't you?
you could get away with it quite easily.
Literally just that. I'm talking about 3 mil difference, and it makes a difference to the finished
Yeah.
piece. I don't know why.
It's all to do with pleasing the eye.
And another thing which I think is to do with perspective of the density of glass. I like to do an undercut here. So I just take that in just.
So you're making more of an OG.
Yeah, just a slight. Again, it's perspective. It's perception more than cut. You know, it's there, but it's not massive.
But tell them the truth, Pete. It's so that when you swap wine out of the top. It has some
Get a
of
It's
it,
in
chance
the
to
cup
catch
at
it
the
and lift
bottom.
it up again. Yeah.
so you don't
You got
lose it.
chance to keep it off the table.
Spillage control.
A second
Yes, yeah.
slurp.
Now, I think it's because when I'm looking at a glass, because it's thicker on that edge, the light goes through that edge differently, and it appears to have a thickness to it. And it's all about appearance, isn't it?
That wood is certainly cutting nicely.
Yeah, it's nice wood, this.
You're going to leave a little tenon on the end so you can remount it to polish it.
I was just going to say same.
Um,
I would.
no, I think I might Ben do it by
And when
hand.
Ben's finished, you can polish it.
No, you can do it by hand.
Do it on the buffing wheels anyway, if you have them.
He's young. He's only 67, for crying out loud.
Make him work for it, Pete. At that age, yeah, you got plenty of time to go with me.
I'm just going to run that bit of 400 grit. It's all the way down the stem. Got my hand in the way of the camera. I do apologise.
For doing spindles, I really like that net sandpaper.
That's what I'm using.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Abernet, is it?
yeah. Does depend on the type of timber. If you've got a finish on there, or if you've got a slightly damp timber, then Abernet is a lot cheaper than any other form of abrasive. Because when it clogs up, you just clean it out.
Yeah, you just slap it against something and it falls off.
Yep. If you've got a very dry, powdery piece of timber, it doesn't really make much difference. But so if you put a finish over even that, cellular sanding sealer, for instance, then you come back and you sand it a bit more, and it clogs up in seconds. But with this, you can clean it, so you can carry on using it. This timber is quite dry, so it's not clogging, but right. Now, an important thing I've noticed somebody the other day on YouTube didn't do. When you're parting off, take your tailstock away, or at least loosen it off so it's not making contact. What you don't want to do is you're putting pressure on. Change camera. You don't want to be putting pressure on here and then cutting through here, because that's just going to go disastrously wrong. You might get away with it sometimes, but it will go disastrously wrong at some point. Take your tailstock away before you part anything off. You all know that, of course.
It can twist into the tool and fly off of you. You could do a Mike Walt.
Well, you can still do that. Try hard enough.
Close up again. because it's spinning now. I can see it spinning.
Mhm.
Thunderstorm's gone, or gone, but gone enough.
I can tell you're getting excited to see the wood spinning.
Yeah. Don't know for how long, Ruby.
I want to do an undercut on this middle bit, so I'm just hacking that bit out of my way so I can come out at an angle.
Is that a rough edge there, Pete, on the outside of the rim of the base?
Shouldn't be.
Looks like something is flying around there.
Something's flying
Like
around,
shaving
like
stuff
a
or something.
shaving or spurious edge, or maybe just because I got my picture back.
No, I can see it as well.
Yeah, there is. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a little feather there
little fuzzy.
coming off of that knot, which you can't see on that angle.
And sand them off out the way. Yeah. Just got it.
Yeah, if I go to no, not that one. Nope, not that one.
How many cameras have you got there, Pete?
Oh, I got loads.
Oh yeah. So you're not look.
Is that knot there that was causing a little bit of tear out on that edge? I've actually got 4 cameras here, but they've all got more than one view, so they zoom in and out.
I think the overhead for the final cut would be the best.
That one, yeah.
Okay, now I'm comfortable doing this. Putting my arm over the top to steady it. You don't have to do it this way.
We'll have to teach you how to do that cut left-handed.
Yeah, you can do it
Exactly,
left-handed.
yeah.
And I do it left-handed sometimes, but change camera again. But I'm comfortable going over the top through the headstock. I find that perfectly acceptable. And there you go.
Very nice, Pete.
Very nice.
It's good. It's good, Pete.
It is.
Just needs patterning now. That's over to Ben for that job.
We'll let Ben do that.
Marcus put in the link for his demo on Tuesday.
All right, Mark. Is it 8 o'clock, Mark?
Yes,
Fuck, I can
that's what time he
look
said.
later and find out. Okay, so that's your lot.
There
Great
we
job,
are.
Pete.
We're back.
Well done.
Um,
And my internet's back working now, so that's good.
little goblet.
Right at the end.
That's no good. It's empty.
Say hello, Ruth.
Tell you what, I'll do.
Shucks.
I'll turn the lathe off.
Ah, there's Ruth. Hello, Ruth.
Hi, Ruth. Right, the
Yes.
lathe is powered off. So you know what that means, don't you? Doombar time.
You're supposed to be putting it in the
Put it
goblet.
in the goblet, yeah.
No, we can't.
you
Because
can't do
it's
that.
not
It's
been
a present to
pyrographed
Ben.
yet, has it?
When I did my
But-
demo with the goblet I made, I had the bottle of apricot brandy there, and I filled
You
it.
did. You did.
And you
It was
drank it
quite
all, did you,
good.
Ruby?
Quite tasty. Yes, I
I
did.
gotta say, alcohol tastes much better out of glass than for some reason anything else in the universe. Doesn't work
Typing
out
in
of
out of
China.
story.
Doesn't work out of earthenware of any sort doesn't work out of plastic. It doesn't work out of wood. Glass is for alcohol.
Yes.
I think
Cheers,
it's a visual
everybody.
thing, Pete.
Thanks for coming in.
Cheers, Pete.
Yeah.
Great job, Pete.
Yeah,
Great
Yeah,
cheers,
job.
Bruce says
Pete.
hello, everybody, and so do I, and bye, everybody.
Hello, Ruth. Hope you're enjoying yourself, even though Terry's there with you.
Do you want to say hello to Pete? Do you want to say hello to Pete? No, you don't want to say hello to Pete. Okay, you don't then. He
Make
says
sure he comes
hello.
back in a couple of weeks.
Make sure I'll go back in a
right,
couple
so
of
we
weeks.
We've got Paul tomorrow lunchtime. Mark Tuesday. I think Wayne will be on Wednesday. Keep an eye out for that.
Doug will be on Thursday. Doug
And
Miller.
Doug on Thursday.
Yeah,
Then
he
we're back
says
to
he's
Steve on Friday again.
he's
This
trying to
week-
put his link in, but he doesn't have a spanner.
Mark, can you find Doug's link and chuck it in there? So we've got hashtag week this week. I should have done it tonight, but my Dremels broke. I'm doing a deal for a Dremel next weekend, so I'm not going to go and buy one especially for this. And I didn't have a suitable piece of wood with a split already in it. So what it is a zipped up or laced up vase. If you look at Steve's from lunchtime today,
Yeah,
he did one on there. And it's basically something which you've either cut a split in or it's got a split in that you've fixed
Zip
with
or
zip
stitched.
or stitch or something, sticking plaster,
Bootlace it.
whatever. And those will be into Steve by not next Friday, but the Friday after.
Friday after.
And
I
I
must still be on
will
holiday then.
probably do that next week, next Sunday, as long as the giveaway doesn't take up the entire live. But we do have 508.
He's going to be in Newark, which is only about 14 miles from me, people. So he's thinking about doing a giveaway, the whole workshop.
Yeah,
Vans
everything
at the
into
ready.
workshop. Thanks for coming in, everybody, and goodbye from my crew and goodbye from me.
Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Bye.
everybody.
Everybody.
Nice to
Popping in.
speak to you. Nice to see you. See you later.